Alright guys, and welcome back to the Little Lawn Gaming channel. Today we have my predictions for the F1 grid for the 2023 season. We've got retirements, we've got rookies getting promoted from F2, we've got movement here, there and everywhere. But before we get into it, if you could just go down below there and hit that subscribe button, it would be much appreciated. But without further ado, let's get into the first team. Yes, the first team we're going to be going through is Haas. And the first driver will be Nikita Mazepin. Now, Nikita Mazepin is someone that I personally cannot see losing that seat for as long as he wants it. His father is basically funding Haas, and that is keeping him in a seat until he decides he's bored with Formula 1. His highest finish last season was a 14th in Azerbaijan after that crazy ending with Verstappen's tyre blowout, Hamilton forgetting to brake, and ultimately, when you think that's his highest finish, you do worry. He got absolutely dominated by Mick Schumacher in the same car last season. He's a little ways off the pace, and to be honest with you, I don't think if Haas want to progress, he's the right driver they need. However, whilst his father decides to pay the money, he'll be there. And Haas's second seat will be going to Robert Schwartzman. Yes, I do believe Mick Schumacher will be leaving Haas at the end of the 2022 season, where hopefully Haas will do a little bit better, have a better car, and he can start to show what he's actually capable of. And therefore, they're going to be looking for someone new. Now, the idea of having two Russians in a car that basically is the Russian flag, I think's too good to turn down. I think they'll go for him. He finished second in F2 last season, accumulating 192 points. And think about it, how many Russian sponsors are going to want to sponsor that car when they realise they've got two Russian drivers and basically the car is a flying Russian flag. So yes, next up is Alfa Romeo, and I believe Valtteri Bottas will be keeping his seat for the 2023 season. Yeah, so with Bottas, they've signed someone who's got experience at the top end, and I think experience is massive here. And he's only just joined. I think he's there more for just one season. I think he's there for quite a few seasons, and the experience he can bring to a younger driver is invaluable. I personally think he's going to have a very good 2022 with Alfa Romeo. I think they'll be a bit more competitive with the new regulations, and I think he's going to be looking forward to maybe scraping a few points in that Alfa. And I think the second driver at Alfa will still be ZHOU as well. Yeah, with Zhou, I think he brings a lot of money to the team, and that is something Alfa Romeo will be needing, quite frankly. When you have someone who brings a lot of money, you don't really want to let them go unless it is for a bigger move to a bigger team. There is an opportunity for him to go to another team, as you'll see later on, but I've actually filled those slots with other people. And I think with Zhou, it is more the money factor. He did finish third in F2 last season, which isn't anything to be sniffed at. So he has got pace about him, he's got quality. But I think learning under Bottas, he's going to have a couple of seasons, and I think he might actually start to hit the ground running then in Formula 1. So yes, next up is Williams, and that first driver will be Nicholas Latifi. Very hard to see him moving. He brings in around about $30 million, or rumoured to be, which is an insane amount of money, to be honest with you, and I can't see him budging anytime soon. He has actually shown a little growth in quality last season. His highest finish was a 7th place in Hungary, that crazy race, and come the back end of the season, he did finish 12th in Saudi Arabia, which is no mean feat either. So hopefully, if Williams do produce a decent car next season and take it into 2023, he can once again be showing glimpses of hope for that team. And his teammate will be Jack Aitken. Yeah, for me it's quite a simple fix. Jack Aitken's driven a Williams before. He did it in the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix, where Russell stepped up to Mercedes to cover a COVID-ridden Lewis Hamilton. So for me it's pretty simple. He's driven it before, he'll be straight in there again. The main reason I'm replacing Albon is I don't think he's a long-term fix for Williams. I don't think he's going to be there for the long term. He's got aims of moving on and getting higher, and I think that will be essentially what he'll do after the 2022 season. He's used them to get back into the sport, and then I think he's going to be looking for another team, and I'm sure he will get one. So as we head into Aston Martin, obviously the first driver is Lance Stroll. So yeah, with Lance Stroll, his father owns the team, his dad ain't going to sack him, let's be honest. And it's not as if he needs to. Lance Stroll is actually a quality driver. He's shown it several times, whether it would be for Williams, Racing Point, or as now they are known, Aston Martin. He is a good driver, and he's a lot better than some of these other pay drivers, aka your Mazepins and your Latifis. So he's definitely worth keeping around, and he's young and he can get better, and I'm sure he will get better. And if Aston Martin can develop a car that performs as good as it looks this season, then going into the 2023 season, who knows what he might be capable of. And his teammate, Mick Schumacher. Yes, I believe this may well be the last season we see Sebastian Vettel in a Formula 1 car. I think he may retire. I think he's looking to try out the new cars. But I think after that, he might just say, you know what, I've had my fun, time to let the youngsters do it. And who's more perfect fitting to replace Sebastian Vettel at Aston Martin than Mick Schumacher? He's been here to help Schumacher settle into Formula 1. And now Schumacher will replace him at a better team than Haas. And to be honest, Schumacher has shown that he deserves it. He's wiped the floor with Nikita Mazepin at Haas. And in particular, his drive in Hungary, where he was battling with the likes of Max Verstappen, absolutely fantastic. Some of his defensive driving was absolutely way up beyond his years. And I think, given a better car, he will show a bit more than he has in the Haas. And to be honest, I think he's going to show a bit more in the Haas this season, because I think Haas will be a lot closer to the rest of the field. And I'm hoping it'll get him that move to Aston Martin. Right, so let's talk AlphaTauri, the Red Bull sister team. And I think their first driver will be Yuki Tsunoda. Yep, I can't see him getting rid of Yuki. He's a good driver. He's got better as the season's got on. There are mistakes there, but with mistakes, you can get better from him. He is young, he's got plenty of time to improve, and I think over the course of the 2022 season, he will improve, and that will secure him his seat at AlphaTauri for 2023. And his teammate will be Alex Albon. Yeah, so I'm predicting Alex Albon to have a half-decent season in what will probably be a poor Williams, and I do believe he will get himself a move back to AlphaTauri when a seat opens up, and you'll see why shortly. I think Albon, he'll be happy to be back in a Red Bull car, essentially. It may not be the Red Bull, but it's as close as he's going to get, because I can't see him ever being back in a Red Bull, and being in Formula 1 is better than being out of it. And next up, we are going to go into Alpine, and I believe their first driver will be Oscar Piastri. Yep, so I personally see Fernando Alonso retiring at the end of the season, and I think that will open the door for Oscar Piastri to step up and get his Formula 1 seat. Obviously, he's the reigning F2 champion, and he's a quality driver, absolute quality, and it won't be long for him to be in F1. If there's any team, it'll be Alpine, and for me, it'll be the 2023 season. And his teammate will be Sergio Perez. Yep, so I am predicting all change at Alpine. I know Esteban Ocon is a cracking driver, and it won't be their choice that he moves. You'll see why shortly. But I do believe Sergio Perez will be relieved of his duties at Red Bull at the end of the 2022 season. And I think Alpine will have a seat available for him with Alonso going and Ocon. And I think he will fill that second seat. He's a reliable driver, and I certainly believe he is a perfect fit for Alpine. Up next, we have McLaren, and their first driver, let's be honest, it's going to be Lando Norris. Yep, pretty simple, pretty obvious. Lando Norris always going to be the driver. He's been improving season on season. He's going to be a future world champion. Will it be in the McLaren? We'll have to wait and see. We don't know what these new regulations are going to do to the front of that grid. Personally, I hope McLaren are near the front, and I think Lando Norris, if they are near the front, could be in with a chance of a world championship. He really is that good. And the second driver will be Daniel Ricciardo. Yep, no change at McLaren. Why would there be? They've got two world-class drivers, and I think Ricciardo, yeah, he had a difficult 2021, although he did win in Monza. I think he'll settle in 2022 and get better and better. He got better and better as the season went on, and the season just gone. It's just going to keep happening, and eventually I think he will actually start to compete with Lando. Fingers crossed, we have those two battling at the front. Now we go on to my pick for the 2022 season. It's Ferrari, and of course the first driver will be Charles Leclerc. Yep, pretty simple again. Charles Leclerc, cracking driver, wide Ferrari, look to get rid of him. He's a driver who's just getting better and better. Yes, he did lose to Carlos Sainz this season. However, you've got to look at some unfortunate results, aka Hungary, where it has basically, if he'd gotten the points, he'd have probably finished above Carlos in the end. Carlos had a cracking season, don't get me wrong, but Charles Leclerc, for me, still the better driver. And his teammate will be Carlos Sainz. Yeah, second team on the trot, no changes, and why would there be? I think they've both got their team set. They now just need to get their cars right, and I think both teams are planning on doing that, and I think we could have a four-way battle at the front in 2022, and hopefully that carries on into 2023. I think Charles and Carlos push each other very well. I think Charles does edge it, as I've just said, but Carlos Sainz is definitely a cracking driver and a cracking personality. He's definitely a smooth operator. And now we move on to Red Bull, where of course the first driver is Max Verstappen. Yeah, current reigning world champion. I think he's going to have a good season. I don't personally think he's going to win it this season, but they ain't going to get rid of him. Christian Horner loves the guy, and Max Verstappen has a job for life. So no way are they going to get rid of him. He's a cracking driver. He fits well to their style. His style of driving fits the car very well. Yeah, it's just Max Verstappen, isn't it? And his teammate will be Pierre Gasly. Yep, I know he's been at Red Bull before and it didn't work out, but for me right now, in that AlphaTauri, Pierre Gasly is pound for pound probably one of the best drivers on the grid, if not the best driver. He's driving the wheels off that AlphaTauri, and for me, he deserves another shot, and I think he'll get another shot. When Checo's contract runs out, I think Pierre Gasly is a shoo-in for the seat at Red Bull, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him give Max a run for his money. So last but not least, it's Mercedes, and the first driver there I think will be George Russell. Yep, 2022, he's finally getting his big move to Mercedes, and I think he's going to take it with both hands, and I think he's going to take it to Lewis. And Lewis won't like it at all. I think George Russell is a cracking driver. He's a future world champion, and I would not be surprised to see him lifting the world championship at the end of this current season. The work he's done with Williams is absolutely exceptional, and for me, I think he's going to continue that with Mercedes. And his teammate will be Esteban Ocon. Yeah, as I've just mentioned, I think George Russell's going to take it to Lewis Hamilton, and Hamilton won't like it. He's not winning that 8th championship, and for me, he will retire at the end of the 2022 season, which leaves the door for Esteban Ocon to take the seat. He's been doing really well at Alpine, and ultimately, he's the perfect fit. He's worked with Mercedes before, so he knows generally how they would go about things, and I think it's literally just a simple pick him up and put him in. He knows what he's got to do. Will he be happy to be second driver? That's a question. Who knows? But ultimately, I think it will be Ocon. And if it's not, they're going to have to go for someone without F1 experience. For me, that wouldn't be a good call. And there we have it. That is my grid for the 2023 Formula 1 season. If you agree with it, if you don't agree with it, let me know in the comments down below. Please do drop this video a like. And I'll catch you guys later.